Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. I am super excited to be before you this evening, this amazing Thursday afternoon. I did my countdown and did not hit my go live. But guess what? It is well. It is well. It is well. It is all right. How are you guys doing tonight? I am super excited to be in the room with you guys tonight for our amazing Candid conversations as we continue our celebration for Women's History Month. I am so excited because the women that we have lined up for this month is definitely ordained by God. And I am excited about what He is doing here on our Candid Conversation show. For those of you that may not know me, my name is Dr. Sonia Wilson Bailey. I am the founder and CEO of Whole Women in Progress, where I assist women to a greater place of wholeness by renewing their minds, rebuilding their bodies, restoring their souls, and rejuvenating their spirit. And how do we do that? Through the Word of God. The only way I know is through the Word of God. And we have a very special guest on tonight, and I am super excited to bring this young lady front and center. Let me tell you, I have never met her in person, but let me tell you, her spirit, her personality is this so, oh my goodness, she is this so amazing. Her just looking at her, hearing her talk, just see her persona as this absolutely amazing. I have not been in the presence of her, but just watching her and just seeing how she interact with the public, she is this absolutely amazing. For those of you that don't know her, I call her Lady K. They call her Lady Love, K Love, Kristen Baxter, and let me tell you a few things about her before I bring her front and center. I'm telling you, it's just snippets of her that I know, but I feel like I've known her all my life. She is Miss Charleston, Miss Plus Size Charleston 2025. She's an upcoming author. She's an upcoming actress in this new My Life Has Changed TV series premiering in Charleston next week. So you need to be looking for that next week. She's a mother of three. Her oldest son transitioned in 2024. She is a walking testimony. Let me tell you, she's a walking testimony of Jeremiah 29 and 11. And God has plans for her and for all of us. For all of us. And let me tell you, just talking to her, I can't even share some of the stuff that God has allowed me to see about this young lady. But when I tell you, she is a mouthpiece for God. She is a mouthpiece for God. Just her presence, my Lord. When I say a fire, I'm talking about a fire. But I'm not gonna continue to talk because me and her got to have this candid conversation together with y'all tonight. And I'm gonna try to keep my composure at this desk here. And hopefully we don't go in. But I want to bring her front and center so we can begin this candid conversation. None other than I'm gonna call her tonight, Lady K. And I hope y'all don't mind, but I know she might be Kayla.
Hit your unmute. You muted your mic again.
See, that's what happened when you get excited. See what happened?
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for having me, Miss Sonia. You're right. We have not met in person, but you are so amazing because you constantly encourage me. You will like when you'll see my different videos and you'll see, my different posts and things. You are always one that will, if you don't comment, or react, you will inbox me and you'll send me voice messages and encourage me. And sometimes the encouragement needs to be encouraged. So I thank you. I thank you for that. I earnestly, honestly thank you for that. Seriously, this walk is not easy. It's not easy, but to God be the glory.
Yes, ma'am. Well, we all need to be encouraged at times, and
Yes.
we just never know what the other person is going to. So we have to not be stingy with our words.
Yes,
But
ma'am.
on tonight, Lady K, I am just elated. I know your schedule has been moving. You
Yes,
have been
ma'am.
all over the low country and abroad. But
Yes,
I just
ma'am.
wanted to tell you thank you before we even get started for taking the time out to come, because I know we've been trying to make this happen now for a
Yes.
couple of months.
I was gonna say it's been a couple of months. You reached out to me months ago and was like, I
Mhm.
want you to come and sit on my podcast. And ooh, child, it's been and it's like I'll have a minute, I'll be like, oh, I think I caught my breath, and then here comes something else. So
Uh-huh.
thank you for having me, but thank you for your patience. Thank you
Yes,
for your
ma'am.
persistence because you didn't let up. I appreciate you. I do.
Yes, yes, ma'am. Well,
Yes, ma'am.
I thank you for your yes, and I thank you for being able to come.
Yes.
On tonight, I know that you wear multiple hats, is multiple things that you provide to our community. If
Yeah.
you had to, I know you do the radio. I know you volunteer and be a part of many community events, and I know a lot
Yes,
of
ma'am.
that entails of you wearing the reign of Miss Plus Size Charleston.
Yes, ma'am.
When you go about in the community, what are some of the needs you see for our youth and our young people?
Ooh, you just came right out the gate swinging, huh? You just
I come on
leaned
out there
in.
swinging, honey, because we got to do something with our young people. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. The biggest thing that our young people need right now is our presence, not our presence, ENT, our presence, ENCE. They need us
Mm-hmm,
to be there. And
mm-hmm,
first of all, we're living in a really different time. There's a lot of things going on, and a lot of it is negativity. And
mm-hmm,
what I've come to find, I've been afforded the pleasure to MC at School of the Arts as well as West Ashley High School. Shout out to both of y'all. When I got to be in the presence of those amazing young people, one of the things that I noticed immediately. First of all, they all have like really eager, vulnerable spirits. They want to
mm-hmm.
be heard. They want to be
Correct.
seen. They want to be supported. And between the two schools, now when I went to West Ashley High School, that was the evening event, but School of the Arts was during the day. So
Mm-hmm,
a large part of the attendees at that particular setup was the actual students. They're at the school.
mm-hmm,
West Ashley High School in the evening, I would have thought that they would have had more of their families come out and support them. It wasn't about me trying to be seen. It was about being there to support the young people. They need our
mm-hmm,
presence. They need that more than anything.
mm-hmm.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And
So
yes, go ahead.
what was missing is the presence of the community, is what you're
Yes,
saying.
that's exactly what I'm saying. Yes, ma'am. We
Wow.
we we find the time to get everywhere else. We find the time to the new Jordans break. They lined up waiting on them. I wish I could say certain concerts, even working on radio. Yeah, they do come out for their shows and stuff. Not the way you would think that they would, but they make it out for everything else. But when it comes down to the things that really matter, they're MIA, and I don't like seeing that. I don't like seeing that. It's a hard thing. I do not have school age children. My
Uh-huh.
my youngest is 20. So she graduated 2 years ago, 2 3 years ago. So
Uh-huh.
I don't have that tie in. But when I'm invited to go, to certain things, especially like I said with
Uh-huh.
school and stuff, I absolutely want to be there. I want to be able
Correct.
to mentor some of the young girls coming up, and help
Uh-huh.
them along their way. Yes, ma'am.
Wow. So it's vitally important that we be engaged and involved. And I even say that to my autism families, to my parents, that they're their children's biggest advocate. And our
Absolutely.
presence is vitally important. So if that's happening in the autism community, then it needs to be happening abroad. We need to be present for our children, whether it's sports, no matter what they're engaged in, we need to
Correct.
be present, because they want that makes them feel important. That makes them feel that we're caring or that we're
Yes,
concerned about them, that
that they
what
matter.
they're doing matters. Because
Absolutely
guess what? If we're not giving them that attention and somebody else is, then they're going to be able to gravitate to where
correct.
the attention is given. Wow.
Correct. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And you touched on I don't want to say a sore spot, but you touched on a tender spot when you mentioned the autism community because my
Uh-huh.
son that transitioned back at the end of
Uh-huh.
2024 was on the spectrum.
Uh-huh.
Christian was
Okay.
severely autistic, suffered from
Okay.
seizures, nonverbal, and we
Okay.
lost him at 25 due to a seizure.
Okay.
And Christian was living with his dad back in
Uh-huh.
Kentucky. So we had been separated for some time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm absolutely still grappling with the loss.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, because I thought that I was going to get a chance to get back to him. And
Uh-huh.
it's a super painful thing that when a
Uh-huh.
moment I thought I was going to be able to go and view, excuse me, visit my son, I instead
Uh-huh.
had to go and view my son.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I still wrestle with guilt and shame because I feel like had I had myself together,
Mm-hmm.
Christian would have been here in Charleston
Mm-hmm.
with me versus in Kentucky with his dad.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but when I was Christian's primary caretaker,
Uh-huh.
autism, first of all, to me, it's a superpower. A lot of people look at it as a disability and a hindrance,
Yes.
maybe, but it's a superpower. They have a different way of learning. They're in a
Correct.
different type of world.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
what I realized when Christian was first diagnosed is I didn't have a whole lot of support. Caring
Yes,
for him
ma'am.
was very difficult. I was a single mom of three,
Mm-hmm.
um, trying to care for him, his brother Aaron, my daughter Adea, back in
Mm-hmm.
Kentucky. It was extremely difficult. It was hard
Mm-hmm.
keeping him in daycares, even in schools, even with him having an IEP and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
You better go ahead and preach on, Reb. Come on. Come on down my highway.
it was extremely difficult because
Yes, ma'am.
I remember days, going to work and them calling me saying, "You've got to come get him. He's having a meltdown, and we've had to clear an entire classroom, and that sort of thing." And
Mm-hmm.
it was hard for me to keep a job. It was hard for me to
Mm-hmm.
keep a residence. It was hard for me to
Mm-hmm.
keep a vehicle because I couldn't work because I was
Mm-hmm.
having to constantly go to him. And then
Mm-hmm.
when it all was said and done, I did have to put him into a facility where he could get
Mm-hmm.
what he needed.
The treatment
Um,
that he needed. Mm-hmm.
yes, yes, yes,
And
and
25 years ago, it looked at a whole lot different than what it
absolutely,
looks like now. I got a
absolutely.
cousin that son is about 25. Chris, he might be 25 or 30. So I know she can totally relate with you. Yes,
Oh my
ma'am.
goodness. Yeah. Yeah. It
Hmm.
was when autism was still it was kind of new.
New.
They
Yes,
were trying
ma'am.
to figure out what exactly autism was, how to best care for it.
Hmm.
And the bad part is while they were, trying, of course, we wanted to figure out how to, cope with it and deal with it.
Hmm.
The caretakers, the parents, the siblings were kind of being lost in the shuffle because
Correct.
while they're trying to figure out what's going on, we're living it. And it
Yes.
was hard. It was
Yes.
extremely difficult. And it was a hard decision to put him somewhere, but I knew that I needed him to get what he needed. And he and they
Correct.
they they, they were taking really good care of him and all that kind of stuff. And I
Hmm.
came here for a visit in
Hmm.
2013. He was
Hmm.
still there. And when I didn't get back to Kentucky, because I got back here and got stuck, this is home for
Hmm.
me. But when I
Hmm.
got here and got stuck, they called his dad to come and get him,
Hmm.
and that's how dad obtained custody of him for
Hmm.
for the for the for the remainder of his life. I didn't
Hmm.
know that
Hmm.
Christian was going to leave here at
Hmm.
25. I and I think that's the thing I grapple with. That's the most painful. Is I thought he had more time, but
Hmm.
what I can tell you is when I took my first look at my son laying in repose, he was free. He didn't suffer from autism anymore. He didn't suffer from seizures anymore.
Hmm.
He didn't suffer from being away from me because I know my son wondered where I was. I know he was
Hmm.
like, I have a mom. I just don't know where she is. But
Hmm.
I'm just glad he's free. It absolutely still hurts. I think it'll always hurt. It'll always be a
Mm-hmm.
thing where I feel like, what could I have done differently?
Uh-huh.
But I'm still having to trust and believe that God doesn't make any mistakes, and He knew
Yes.
exactly.
And he knows what's best. Correct.
Absolutely, absolutely,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And the thing about it is we don't always know, but God knows. That's
correct.
the thing. God knows. And just allowing you to navigate through that. And just like you said, things were so much more different then, and the resources were limited then.
Yes, ma'am.
Child
Very.
care is still not caught up.
That's. I
Uh,
know it's not.
there's
I
so
know it's
many things that still has not been uh, done differently. So that's why I am an advocate now to really help families, because it is so much stuff that needs to be done differently.
Yes, ma'am. And
But
I just said
I
it's
thank
needed.
you for sharing. I thank you for being transparent and um, not even knowing the ins and outs of that. I thank you for sharing, because I know that that's probably still gonna be fresh for a while,
Oh,
for a while.
oh yeah.
Wow.
It hasn't been 2 years
Yeah.
yet. Christian
Yes.
passed on December 9th of
Mm-hmm.
2024. We had his service the weekend before Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
We had to travel to Kentucky for his services. Me
Mm-hmm.
and my dad and my siblings, and then my
Mm-hmm.
two kids. We all went together, and
Mm-hmm.
one of the most painful times of
Mm-hmm.
my life. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm still dealing with it. I go to mental health therapy faithfully
Mm-hmm.
every week. I'm a veteran as well. I'm an Air Force veteran.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and
Thank you for
it
your
helped.
service.
It was my pleasure serving. I
Mm-hmm.
enjoy being in the military. I regret
Mm-hmm.
getting out. That's my single regret in life. I wish I had listened to my late mom. She told me to stay in. I didn't listen to her
Mm-hmm.
because I was a love child. I thought I knew what I was doing. So I
You
got
did
out.
not. You thought you know.
I thought I knew what I was doing. So I
Yeah.
left my Air Force life to go to the Army life, and child,
Mm-hmm.
Mama tried to tell me. Mama tried to tell me. I didn't listen. So what do you
Mm-hmm.
what do you what do you do?
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely I have days that it's like I can still, there's an audio tape that plays in my head, and I can
Uh-huh.
hear my ex-husband saying Christian passed away. I can just hear it. And
Uh-huh.
sometimes it's like it's still surreal to me, even after having
Uh-huh.
viewed my son, after kissed on him and touched on him, all that kind of stuff. The
Uh-huh.
fact that he's no more, that's still
Uh-huh.
he was the one that made me a mom. That was my first baby. So
Uh-huh.
I never thought that would be part of my testimony
Mm-hmm.
ever. You could have never told me that would have been part of
Mm-hmm.
my testimony, but by God, by God.
But God, but God.
Mhm. Yes,
And
ma'am.
that's going to help somebody else. Even that will help somebody else, because somebody else will have to navigate through that, and who better to assist them than a mom that has already experienced that. So um just know that God is with you in it all. And
Yes, ma'am.
Jesus in therapy is all right. I see my therapist every week.
Yes,
Every week I look forward to that appointment,
me too.
because even if I lost my daughter, I lost my mom, so it's okay. And we have to make things normalized. Sometimes
Yes,
people
ma'am.
walk around and they know they need a thing and they just
Mhm.
don't get it, because we so
Correct.
worried about what other people might think. And those
Absolutely.
same people that you're concerned about, they need to be there too. They need to
Absolutely.
come along with you too, because they
Yes.
got some unresolved trauma or some grief or whatever
Mhm.
else they're dealing with, that they need to come to the meeting too.
Absolutely.
Please
Because
come.
a lot of us are in therapy to deal with the people that will not go to therapy. So, yes, ma'am. That's why
Yes,
a lot of us got to go and get on the couch now and lay prostrate and talk to these people, because of these
yes,
people that refuse to go and get some help. That's why we in therapy now. That's what it is.
because they will come to the meeting.
That's what
Let
it
the church
is.
let
I'm
the
telling you,
church
son. That's
say
what it is.
amen.
Amen. Amen. Shucks. People get on my nerves.
Come on with me. Come on with me to
You
this
know,
place.
come on. I'll
Yes,
pick you up.
Lord.
I'll pick you up. Come on, come, go with me
I
so
will
they can
be
get
by
you.
there and blow the horn for you.
You know what I'm saying? Goodness, you girl, it's a time.
Mm-mm.
It's a time in the land. I tell you, time in the land.
It's a time. Yes.
Well,
Um,
well.
so when we continue to navigate this journey as a
Mm-hmm,
mom, as a sister, as a wife,
mm-hmm,
as a daughter, because I know you said that you're divorced now. What
yeah.
do you say to those women that are divorced that may be wanting to be remarried, or want to get back on the dating scene, or considering those type of things? Everybody's saying be celibate, wait, don't fornicate, and we
Mm-hmm,
know that we shouldn't, especially if we women of God, that we
mm-hmm,
shouldn't be out there giving away the goods, you
mm-hmm.
know, and definitely,
No.
working in ministry and all of those things.
Mm-hmm.
And I think sometimes, if you want to be kept, you can be kept. But a lot of times women struggle with staying on one side. The word says a double-minded man is unstable in their ways. So
Correct.
what do you say to that sister that know that she's in the kingdom and know that she's supposed to be not doing certain things and she's struggling?
First of all, I look in the mirror because I'm that sister. So I
Uh-huh.
look in the mirror and
Uh-huh.
I have to remind myself,
Uh-huh.
Christy, you're in this world, but you're not of this world. You can't do what
Uh-huh.
everybody else does.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's not easy because I'm still a woman. I'm
Mm-hmm.
still a very trying to think of the right word to use in this realm. I'm still a woman. That's that
Uh-huh.
let me just and so I try to remember that love is a beautiful thing. I do
Mm-hmm.
believe that love is still possible for all of us, but
Mm-hmm.
it starts with us. That's why I got on
Mm-hmm.
my self love shirt because
Mm-hmm.
self love it begins with you, and when you
Mm-hmm.
know who you are and
Mm-hmm.
who you are, then certain things just aren't going to cut it anymore. Yes, I can very transparently and honestly say that I've given in to the physical desire. But I can
Uh-huh.
also say that emotionally and mentally I suffered for it. So
Uh-huh.
while that moment may seem, worth it, what the
Uh-huh.
aftermath is not. It's
Uh-huh.
just and it's hard because I honestly I want to love again. I want to love again. I would love to be a wife again. I would.
Mm-hmm.
But I need to know when King Jesus gonna bring the new batch of men. He got in the back out because what's out here right now. I think what's going on out in this universe in this hemisphere right now. This is
Uh-huh.
not of God. This is not of God. I know
You
that
say a
God.
whole new batch?
Oh, we need a new batch because what's out here now is stale. It's stale. Some of it got mold on it.
Uh-huh.
It ain't got no flavor and no seasoning.
Mm-hmm.
No, this is not it. This is not it. It's hard trying to date out here now because for some reason these
Mm-hmm.
men want to be pursued. These men want to be pampered. These men want to be princesses. Nah, I need the man that
Not the
prays.
princesses. Oh
They
God.
do. They do. I know what I'm talking about. Okay, like they want you to chase them, and so for me, me in my house, I'm like, you know what, I'm good. I'm cool
Uh-huh.
on you have to come at me correctly, and it's just not happening for me right now. So for me, for the sister in the mirror that deals with being full of all this love that she wants to give,
Mm-hmm.
to a good man, a good deserving man. He doesn't have to be perfect. I don't want him to be perfect because I'm not perfect. There's only one perfect one. That's Jesus. I can't marry Jesus. I can't marry Jesus. But I would
Mm-hmm.
love to have a man that prays, that protects and provides. And I'm not talking about just providing financially. You need to be my safe place. You need to be able to cover me and and
And pray
make
for me.
my
Come on here, somebody.
you got to
Ah,
be able to pray
Jesus.
for me.
Ah,
And
oh,
be
glory.
because of the kind of life I lead, with being a current title holder, with being an actress now, with
Uh-huh.
being I need a man that's secure with me being me and not trying to humble me or bring me down because it makes you feel insecure. I need that man to be emotionally and mentally secure.
Stable.
There,
My
there's
Lord.
there's nothing I can do with you if you're coming at me and trying to knock me down because you really can't rise up to the occasion. And if you can't if you can't meet me where I'm at and or exceed where I'm at, but
Uh-huh.
still remain a godly man, I,
Uh-huh.
I'm good. I'm cool on you, bro. So right now, I'm just out here working on Christy and living my life as best as I can. And I just right now I just can't do it. I don't have the wherewithal to deal with what comes with it. But I still believe in love. I say all that to say I still believe in love and I believe it's possible for me, but I don't believe God has cleared me for that right now. Not right now.
Okay. So how important do you feel for as women, self-love and self-care, soul care? Because a lot
Ooh.
of times we want to pursue certain things, but if
Mhm,
we're not confident in ourselves and really love and know who we are as women,
mhm,
how does that
mhm,
affect how we parent, how we manage our own self? Sometimes it's things that we're desiring in other
mhm,
arenas when
mhm,
we need to work on us. You know what I'm saying?
mhm. Oh, yes,
That's what
ma'am.
whole women is all about. But I think a lot of times
Yes,
we
ma'am.
struggle with our own selves.
We do, and we do. I think the first thing that we need to remember as women is we cannot pour from an empty cup. If we are not filling our own well, then how
Hmm.
can we take care of our husbands or our
Hmm.
significant others? How can we take care of our children? How can we perform well at our job? How can we flourish and thrive if we're not taking care of ourselves? We
Hmm.
need to learn the power of saying no, and that's part of our issue. We are, I think, because we're naturally nurturers, because we're naturally, we know that we were created to be helpmeets and
Hmm.
that sort of thing. I think that a lot of us internally we automatically assume I have to be selfless and
Mhm,
make sure everybody else is okay. Well, now
mhm,
it's time for us to be selfish and make sure that we're okay first. We need to
correct.
learn how to do whatever it is. And I can't, tell each woman because every woman has her own personality and her own
Mhm,
requirements and that sort of thing. But I know that the one of the most important things a woman can do for herself is to know her spiritual self. And
correct.
establish a routine of prayer. If you are a woman that believes in God, going to church and
Mhm,
fellowshipping with other women. I know that right now the church does have a bad rap, and some of it is warranted because everybody's not doing the right thing, but God is still real. And so if you are a woman that's talking about being okay spiritually, then you need to have a relationship with God. God already knows everything about you. He knows everything
exactly.
about you. The things that you think you're hiding from him, he already knows. He knew you before you knew you, you know? So
Mhm,
in fostering that relationship with him and being honest with who you really are and not lying to yourself, not saying
mhm.
I'm okay when you're really not okay. Taking
Yes,
care
that
your
part.
mental health, taking care of your mental health. So many women are walking around, they are ticking time bombs because they're
My
overwhelmed.
Jesus.
They're overwhelmed, they're sad, they're lonely, and they really don't know what to do about it. And
Mhm,
I can speak on that because I've been in that spot before. But the
Mm-hmm.
truth of the matter is, when things started to turn around for me, was when I looked back up. I had to
Mm-hmm.
look back up, and I had to very pointedly say, God, what do you see? What do you want me
Mm-hmm.
to do? Where do I need to be? And yeah, for a
Mm-hmm.
while, God did have to. I had to shut everything down, just kind
Uh-huh.
of be to myself to work through some things and figure some things out. But self love and self care for today's woman is paramount. It is non negotiable. It's mandatory, and
Yee.
a lot of women need to get that, and they need to cleave to that. I understand. I know a man, cleave to no. You need to cleave to your self love, your self care, and taking care of you, taking care of you, whatever that may
Yes.
look like for you. It's non negotiable. It's not, and it's not to be played with. It's to be taken very seriously, because if you don't, you will burn out. And when you really,
Yes.
once you hit that rock bottom and it all kind of comes back to you, you realize I was neglecting me the whole
Me.
time. Yeah,
Yes.
there's nothing wrong with putting you first. You matter too. You matter too, sweet lady. You matter too.
Yes, Lord.
Yep.
That is so, so true. That is
Mhm.
so true. And I think sometimes when we don't take care of it, and when we don't address it, it
Mhm.
shows up. It shows up
It
wherever we
does.
go.
It
It
does.
shows up wherever we go. It follows us.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
I'm so grateful that you really hit that ball out of the park.
Oh,
And
yeah.
um when we recognize it, or when we see it, always check those five people that are in your circle, your inner circle. You have got to have women that are around you, that inner circle. I'm not talking about that outer circle, I'm
Right.
talking about that inner
Right.
circle. Those
Inner
five
circle.
women
Mhm.
that love you enough to tell you the truth. And I think
That
we
part.
have gotten so um to the point where we got these groups, or these tribes, or these cliques, or whatever we want to call them,
Mhm.
and they will not love you enough to tell you the truth. And they will see you walking to the end of the cliff, and
Yeah.
you just about to step off, and they
Right.
don't love you enough to say, hey sis, yeah, yeah, whatever it is that needs to be said.
Correct.
That is not a true sister in
No.
Christ, or not a true sister that does not love you enough to tell you the truth. And
Correct.
if you got these yes people around you
That part.
who allow you to stay in that place of brokenness, of stagnation, of unhealthiness, of
Mhm.
whatever that is that you may be dealing with,
Mhm.
you cannot go to the next dimension in God with those kind of people around you. And
Correct.
sometimes it's like you would rather that
Mhm.
than to walk into a greater place of wholeness.
Yes,
That
because
does not help us.
no, it does not help us, but some people are more comfortable in their dysfunction because it's familiar. Familiarity will jack you up every time. If you're used to foolishness, then you continue to deal with foolishness because in your mind, well, I know what this looks like. This makes sense to me. This is what I'm used to. So I'll be complacent. I'll just stay myself right here. But you're doing yourself a great disservice and you're being disobedient to God because God didn't create you to sit in that mess. God did not create you to sit in and or to sit down on your greatness. So anytime we don't rise up to where he's calling us to be, we're being disobedient. You took the words right out of my mouth. We do not need yes people. We do not need people to say, "Oh no, you look great." Well, you really be tore up. They need to tell you, "No, baby, that ain't it. That ain't it. Do something else. That's not it." You need people that need to tell you, "You were wrong. You out of order. That was uncalled for." If you needed to talk about something, you should have did that. You should not. I'm thankful. I call my inner circle. I call them my vibe tribe. That's what I do call them, my vibe tribe. And it's yeah, it's like right now, and I can't even really say it's five people, but it's like three sisters in particular that I trust, that I can, that
Mhm.
they don't hesitate to
And it,
tell me,
mhm,
Christy, no ma'am. And I
mhm,
mean, and like one of my friends, I always call her the prim proper professional because she'll say, she was like, well, let's talk about this, Christy. I don't think we should do this way, or
uh-huh,
no, I know you said that's what you want to say. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. But she'll say it to me in love. And then there are times where she's had to straight check me. Like she was like, "Yo, okay." The prim proper professional disappeared. She's like, "Okay, look here, my dog. This is not what we're about to do. You're not doing this." And I'm
uh-huh,
like, "Well, no, because what I'm trying to say." She's like, "I know what you're trying to say, but that ain't it. You're not
mhm.
doing it." And she'll get really kind of gangster with me, and I'm like, look,
But
I mean,
that's somebody that loves you. She
she loves
loves you
me for real.
enough to pull your coattail. And
Yeah,
that's the kind of relationships that we need around us. That's the
correct,
kind of relationships that we need
correct.
around us.
I
And
agree.
you might not have but two people. You might not have but that one person. It might not be five. I know I don't have five. I'm gonna tell you right now,
Yeah, I
I
don't have
don't
five.
have five. But at
I
the
don't have
end of the day, those two that I have or three that I have, I know they are going to check me. And
correct.
that's what's important because
Yes,
at
ma'am.
the end of the day, as women of God and sisters in Christ, we
Mhm.
got to have that. But
Yes,
I
ma'am.
just, some of the things that I see, I be like, my God, from Zion, what in the ham sandwich? What is that? What is that? And
Right.
it doesn't matter if you're making 7 or 8 figures. If you get on any platform and do some of the things that I see, I, honey, it don't matter how much money you're making. It's just
Correct.
certain things that you are not going to do.
Correct.
You just ain't
Correct.
gonna do it. I
Or at least you shouldn't, but hey,
You
you're not.
shouldn't
You shouldn't.
because some people are going to be turned off just by the things that
Correct.
comes out of your mouth.
Correct. Correct. I mean, just because you can does not mean you should. And a lot of people don't seem to understand that. A lot of
My,
people,
you better
that
say
is,
so.
I'm trying to tell you, that's the concept that a lot of people miss. Just because you can does not mean you should.
Okay. Okay. All right.
I'm just saying.
Now I know your mama raised you better than that now. That's
Right.
all I'm gonna say. I know your mama raised you better than that.
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay.
And
All
did.
right.
The Lord said raised me right. She did good.
Dolores.
The
Well, I
Lord
know
got me
Bessie.
together.
Bessie May did better than that with me.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, mercy, 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 mercy. Don't embarrass your mom and daddy, my
I,
Lord.
I ain't
Jesus.
gonna do that. I know I ain't gonna do it.
Ooh,
At least not intentionally. Do things happen sometimes? You be like, "Oh, I can't believe I just did that." Okay, yes, because we're still human. We're still gonna,
correct,
mess up and everything. But just
correct.
because we fall, don't mean we gotta stay there. Just because we,
Exactly.
have a misstep with that, we ain't got to stay there. We don't have to do
And
that.
remember, as we become more successful, it requires a greater level of professionalism.
It does.
It
And
requires
that's
a
the tough part.
level.
That is the tough part
I'm
because you
not
have
saying
to.
I'm not saying lose your identity or your
Oh no,
authenticity.
no, I know
Keep
exactly what you
that
mean.
because that's what makes you who you are. But it's
Uh-huh.
still a level of tact in what you say
Absolutely.
and how you say it.
And what you do. Correct. Correct. You
Okay.
are
All right.
absolutely correct.
Yes.
Because I do I see some stuff, out outside sometimes. I'm like, ooh, that look like fun, right? And I'm like, well, Chris, that's a little that is a little bit
No,
risque.
don't do that,
You
Chrissy.
can't
Don't
Chris,
you do that. You
and
the Miss Charleston. Don't
I
do
know,
that.
right? But it's like in my mind, I'm like, you know what? That looked kind of cool. But one of my favorite phrases that I got from one of my friends back in Kentucky, she would always say, "So you just gonna go out here and shame the family name?" So I'll always say, you know what, Chris, you can't do that because you're gonna shame the family name. You just gonna dismantle the whole thing. You can't do that. You can't do what you see other people do, and it's a hard thing to remind myself sometimes because I like to. I do. I like to have fun. I wouldn't say I walk on the wild side. I wouldn't go that far. I like to
Uh-huh.
have fun. I do. I like to.
We all like to have fun. We all are people that like to enjoy life. We should
Yeah,
enjoy life, but it's a
yes,
way that you do things.
that part. That part. There is a way to do things. But yeah, I ain't gonna shame the family name. I ain't gonna do it. No, yeah.
Don't
And that's
do
why I
it.
say not on
Don't
purpose, right?
do it.
Not
Don't
on
do
purpose
it.
because if something do transpire, that
Uh-huh.
it probably ain't gonna be my fault. I probably ain't had nothing to do with it. It just, I just happened to be in the vicinity and it happened, So
Mhm. Okay. All right. All right. We gonna come back over this.
yes, man. I'm back. I came back in the room. I'm back in the room.
So as we continue to navigate this conversation,
Yes.
as women, and as we focus on women and Women's History Month, if
Mhm.
you had to say one woman in history that you were just grateful for her journey and how it has helped you just to be the woman of God that you are today, who would that woman be? Who would
Wow.
she be?
Wow. Because so many come to mind.
Yes,
Because it's
Lord.
like,
I'm telling you, a
bro,
couple of came to my mind.
yes, because there's two women that like come to my mind immediately.
Mm-hmm.
The first woman that came to mind when you were asking the question is absolutely Michelle Obama. Because
Mm-hmm.
of the fact of watching her just walking out that journey as the first lady of
Mm-hmm.
this. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be rude because I know it is an amazing place, but just looking at the current state of affairs, it's kind of hard to
Mm-hmm.
be proud. It is. It's kind of hard because it's
Mm-hmm.
some of these things I'm just like, ooh, Jesus, Jesus, just come, cause okay. But watching her walk out her journey
Mm-hmm.
as first lady of
Uh-huh.
the United States and her demeanor,
Mm-hmm.
her poise, her grace,
Mm-hmm.
super inspiring. Super,
Mm-hmm.
super inspiring. I know that no, everybody doesn't, love her. Everybody didn't love her husband, didn't love President Obama. And I get that.
Mm-hmm.
And it does for me sometimes when I see, some of the comments I see on social media. That's the one thing
Mm-hmm.
about social media. Social media is a blessing and a curse. I tell you what.
Mm-hmm.
But when I would see people say certain things, about her, I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't understand it. And then I just watched her remain regal. I watched her
Uh-huh.
continue to fly above it and not give into it. And so she is definitely like she was the first person that came to mind. But as
Yes.
you continue to talk, I thought about one of my friends. I haven't talked to her in a little while. I actually need to check on her, but Reverend Vanessa Smalls Bryant. She is like one of the most amazing women of faith I have ever come across. She, her strength, her boldness, her courage,
Uh-huh.
and we've spent time together in the past, and hearing her testimony and hearing her share
Mm-hmm.
the things that she's gone through. And
Mm-hmm.
I think for me, one of the most defining moments for me was watching her eulogize her father. I like
Wow.
watching her actually be the worship leader and then eulogize her own father. Like I
My
was,
God.
I was floored because you absolutely have to be a woman of enormous faith
Mm-hmm.
to do something like that. And I
Mm-hmm.
have, I have a lot of admiration and respect for her.
Mm-hmm.
Just you know,
Jesus.
she's amazing,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely amazing. Yes, ma'am.
And it
So
takes a lot of poise to just do that for any family member. That
right.
that takes a lot.
And she was a daddy's girl. So like even more so just to watch her navigate through that. And of
Mm-hmm.
course my mom. Of course my mom, because my mom was a single mom of 5 children. I'm the oldest of the 5.
Mm-hmm.
And mom used to work the graveyard shift at Carolina Youth Development Center as a relief counselor.
Wow, I used to work there.
Are you serious? Wow, yes.
Yes,
Yeah,
Lord. All of the places
yeah.
that I worked was always caring for. I wanted to be a social worker, and I must tell you that
Wow.
I worked in various institutions that cared for people. So I did it. I just didn't have the
Gotcha.
degree, but I've worked at Coastal Center. I've always worked places to care for those individuals that needed that type of
Well, they
care.
needed that.
So
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
I don't remember what year that was, because that
uh-huh,
was, of course, many years ago. But yes,
uh-huh,
Dolores Lucille Brown Baxter, she was just such a sweet lady. She was such a
uh-huh,
loving lady. I here
uh-huh,
lately, what has been so cool is I've run into people that remember my mom, and they'll
uh-huh,
always say, "Man, your mama used to make the best bread pudding that she did." Dolores, I ain't gonna lie, that bread pudding was something serious. The only one that I found that came remotely close was at Nigel's Good Food in Hanahan. They
uh-huh.
quote, but no,
Okay.
they still ain't got nothing on Lola B. Lola B, something that was something serious. But I've been running into people lately.
Uh-huh,
Remember my mom? There's like your mom was such a loving lady. She was, and she was.
uh-huh.
She loved on people even when they mistreated her, even when they mishandled her, and she absolutely
Great.
left that
That takes a
legacy.
lot of grace.
She yes, and she left that legacy of love to me because I do the same thing. There are people that I have loved on, and they don't know that I know the horrible things you said about me. You don't
Mhm,
know, that I know that you having the same love I'm extending to you. You could never extend to me because you're not built like me. And I and
mhm,
oftentimes people will tell me you're a pushover, you're a sap. Why do you let people do you like that? Absolutely had to do better about establishing boundaries. I absolutely
mhm.
had to do better with that. But I do walk
Boundaries are necessary.
very necessary. You lose your doggone mind if you don't have some boundaries. But I
Mhm,
do. I try to do my best to walk in love, no matter what. Even when, like I said, when I know that it's not being extended back to me, I still determine in my mind, even though I know you full of it, I'm full of God's love, so I'm gonna give it to you anyway. I'm not doing it for you. I'm doing it for Him. Because if I was doing it
mhm.
for me, I can actually tell you where you could go right now. However, that's not what God wants me to do. So I'm going to do what God gives me to do.
Keep the light on. Keep the light on in the lighthouse.
Yes, 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 yes. But Dolores did.
More
She
glory. Keep the light on, honey. Keep the light on.
Mhm. Yes, but yes, Dolores did. She left me a legacy of love, and I do. I think one of the biggest compliments that I've ever gotten is I've run
Mhm,
into ladies who watch me and my siblings grow up in Wesley Church,
mhm,
downtown Charleston, and sometimes I'll see these ladies. Some of them actually were at some of the parades that I was in as
mhm,
queen, and
mhm,
they will tell me, they was like, you seeing you makes me think of your mama. One lady, she burst into tears when she saw me. Like she had
mhm,
she had me all teary eyed. She was like, "You are so beautiful, and I know your mama is so proud of you." And we
mhm,
were, I think there was when I was in the Burke homecoming parade, and so we kind
mhm,
of came to a little bit of a standstill. It was a little bit of a delay, and so
mhm,
when she saw me, she raised her hand, and I watched her face crumple. And I was like, "Come
mhm,
here," because I'm in a car, so I can't go to her. And she
mhm,
came and she grabbed my hand, and she's got tears streaming down her face. And she's like, "You're so beautiful." She was like, "You making me think of your mom." And and I know your mom is so proud of you. And that's when I
mhm.
started tearing up. And I was like, you ain't
Mhm.
had to say that. You could have just tell me I look like my mom. You ain't
You
have to
ain't had
say
to do all this, and I'm in the
you
people
ain't have
parade
to do
now.
that. And I end up reading stuff. You ain't have to do that.
Oh
But
goodness.
but that is like such a huge compliment when people tell me I remind me of my
Mhm,
mom. Because Dolores was she was just such a sweetie. She really was.
mhm.
She really was. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
remind me a lot of your sister too. Your sister, so,
You talking about Shannon or you talking about Vicky?
Shanna, the
Oh,
one that does the makeup. Yeah, she
yes.
is. Oh goodness, she is a sweetheart. Yes, Lord.
She is a
But I
sweetheart,
didn't
but
realize you
Shannon,
was the oldest.
yes.
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
the oldest too. I tell you, that's a task all by itself.
Uh-huh.
That
It
is a
is. It is.
task all by itself.
It
But
was.
this
And
has
that was
been an
fun.
absolute pleasure. Lord have mercy.
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
so
Yes, ma'am.
before leaving tonight, if you had
Yeah.
to give us one nugget about life, anything that you could share with the women, being that this Women's History Month, what would be one thing that you would leave with the women tonight as they navigate through this thing called life? This one thing
One
that you
thing
could
that
leave
I
with
could
us.
leave with the women as we celebrate Women's History Month is that you matter. That you matter. Your gifts matter. Your talents matter. Your life matters. This world will tell you that you are a second rate citizen simply because of your DNA. And that's simply not true. That's simply not true. There is a story inside of every one of you out there. And it is your duty to realize the magnitude of your strength, of your grace, of your poise, and your necessity. You're necessary. You are necessary, and you are a very necessary part of the puzzle that's called life and that's called this world. Um, be your own brand of beautiful. Be your own brand of beautiful. You don't need to be somebody else. Be your own brand of beautiful and be bold while you do it. That's what I say.
Yee, go ahead on. Boy, I tell you, you hitting it, lady. You hitting it, lady T. You hitting it. Be your own brand of beautiful. My God. Your own brand. Your
Your own
own
brand.
unique, distinct brand. Not a
Yes.
carbon copy. Your own brand. My God.
We
Jesus.
got
Now
enough
that'll
carbon
preach.
copies. We got
Yee.
enough carbon copies. We have enough
One of-
carbon copies out here. Yeah, he created you an original, so be the original that you were created to be. Yeah.
yes. And one of my
Mhm.
t-shirts is a design original. That's one of the t-shirts that I designed.
See, see, I'm gonna need to get that up off you, sis. I'm gonna need that T-shirt. All right, hot pink. We're
Oh
going ahead and make me
yes,
hot
ma'am.
pink one.
Yes,
Let me get
ma'am.
a hot pink one.
I'll make sure you get that, girl. I'll make sure you get it.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, thank you so much for this Candid Conversation show.
Oh,
This has been absolutely amazing. Thank you,
yes,
Miss Plus Size Charleston. You have graced us with your presence tonight. And this has been
absolutely.
an amazing Candid Conversation. I thank you for just your yes. I thank you for your transparency. And I thank
Yes,
you for
ma'am.
the gems that you have dropped in this room tonight.
Yes,
You have
ma'am.
blessed
Thank
the
you so much
people.
for having me.
Yes, ma'am. I'm gonna put you backstage and I'm gonna do my commercials. I know I
All
won't
right.
sound like you, but I'm gonna be my authentic
Oh, man.
self. Hallelujah. I might need to get some training. But I will talk to you in just a few minutes, sweetheart.
Okay.
All right, darling. Yes, I want to thank you all for joining us on this amazing candid conversation as I interviewed Lady T tonight, our Miss Plus Size Charleston. This has been a unique and very amazing candid conversation. For those of you that may be watching for our very first time, my name is Dr. Sonia Wilson Bailey. I'm the founder and CEO of Whole Women in Progress, where I assist women to a greater place of wholeness by renewing their minds and rebuilding their bodies, restoring their souls, and rejuvenating their spirits through the Word of God. Whole Women in Progress is a faith based Christian life coaching business where I assist women who are willing to and desiring to work on inner healing and wholeness of their minds. I am on YouTube. I am on YouTube and I am on Facebook. I have a Facebook book group, Whole Women in Progress. We have prayer on Monday mornings at 6:30 a.m. I do Winning Wellness Wednesday, Nuggets on Wednesday, and on Friday, I have Freedom Fridays on Friday. My website is www.wholewomeninprogress. And I did tell you about the Facebook group, and that is on Facebook. I thank you all for joining us on tonight for this amazing candid conversation. And we will see you on next Thursday. I will have another special guest to join us. And I look forward to seeing you guys at that time. Thank you all for joining us on tonight. Have a wonderful rest of this amazing Thursday evening. Love you guys and have a great night. Talk to you soon. Be blessed and see you on tomorrow morning at 6:30 a.m. for our Free Freedom Friday. Be blessed and have an awesome night.